Hello everyone, my name is Pacha and welcome back to yet another episode of Raven Creek Park. This time without any intro cinematic because this is basically a continuation from the last episode. So if you haven't watched our last build on this channel, which was the amazing Sloth House, then I highly recommend doing that because we continuing this build, we finishing this build today in this episode with another room. I think we can say with another room of this building, this time for the scaly friends of the South American continent. We are building for two exhibits animals today. I think the green iguana and the yellow anaconda. And we are also building for one crocodilian, this being the cuviers dwarf caiman, which came to us with the aquatic pack all the way back in, I think, 2020, so 4 years ago. Wow, it's really that old. But our first new caiman and reptilian after the release of the game, and it's a tiny one. It's a very tiny one, and I'm thinking the exhibit that I'm building here today, and you can actually see me building the exhibit boundaries, the habitat boundaries here. I think the exhibit would also be sufficient for something like the spectacled caiman, which came with the wetlands pack, I think. It would be big enough, but I also want to work with Planet Zoo's hitboxes and Planet Zoo's space requirement, not in the event that I'm giving the required space, but the space they need to move around. And that means making these things a little bit bigger than they would be usually, so it is a bit on the bigger side for such a small caiman crocodilian. But if you think that it is too big and I maybe should change them out for the spectral caiman, which we had in the past here in Raven Creek in our wetlands section, our old one. If you think that they would be suited better in this exhibit, I definitely can easily swap them out for them. It works for both of them. They both are found in South America, in the tropical rainforest, so it definitely would work with the setup and everything like that. But we are back in Raven Creek. Now me building here the two areas of the exhibit, the water part and the land part. And of course we need a bit of land for the habitat gate to function, because we can't place it just floating in the air. But the rest of the habitat will not use normal terrain, because that wouldn't work with the barriers and the water. And I wanted to give that water as close as possible to, or wanted to get the land section as close as possible to the water. So what I'm actually doing here is using concrete, which we will later top off with mulch. And you might be thinking, why not just place the mulch, get rid of the concrete, saves pieces. And that is a possibility, but due to how the mulch pieces are coded, or how animals are coded, no clue what comes first, but how they are coded means that animals will sink into the mulch if there is no hard floor, or if there is no terrain or something like that under it. So they will sink in that, and it causes all sorts of wonky movement and stuff like that. So putting a concrete layer under it, like it would probably be in real life, means that the animals stay on top of the mulch, don't sink in, and everything looks more realistic, looks more workable, stuff like that. So that is the reason why. And we also continue the floor design that we had in the museum room, education room at the beginning of this house. We continue that floor design here, and I actually will also do some changes off camera, off recording to the museum room, add some more stuff to it that looks a bit more full, thanks to Sparrow, my wonderful friend, who made some ideas, or gave me some ideas what I could do to change up the museum room a little bit, make it a little bit more full. And I definitely want to try to include that, but as I said, off camera, so it will not be in the speed build, but you will see it in the end. Showcase in the end real-time part of this build, because this time we have a real-time part. We look at everything from last episode and this episode, hence why it is also good to watch last week's episode to know what we are actually talking about. And yeah, also dressing up the exhibits a little bit and taking some inspiration from the exhibits I did in the Bayou section. This time I don't need to make them smaller, which I did in the Bayou area. I can leave them as big as they are, because that actually kind of suits the animals that are in there, being the iguana and the anaconda. They need a little bit more space. But you could definitely, I think, also have a cuviers caiman in these boxes. It would definitely be big enough. Just stay at that. And we also try to emulate a little bit of a door section over here with the split glass. And we will later add also a little bit of a keyhole using the hinge piece, to give an impression that they could be opened if necessary. But yeah, we are back in Raven Creek, and not really, or not, wait, that's the wrong word. I would have wished to do something else this week, but Frontier still decides to let us wait with annual DLC news. There seems to be some development, and as I said, maybe once this video is out on Wednesday, we already know what the DLC will be and when it will come out. I can't speak for the future patcher. The past patcher that I am only knows that so far on this time of day, Monday, at around noon time, when I'm recording this, there are no informations about the DLC or anniversary, but thanks to another member of the Plan 2 community named Jonas, he actually found out, or at least he shared it, that the next community challenge, I think they are called in franchise mode, the community challenges, the next one starts next week, of course, but it is anniversary themed. It is fitting for the anniversary, which is something they always do around anniversary, having an anniversary challenge where you can just release any animal and get points for it and stuff like that. And this one starts next week, next Monday to be exact. So that could mean we get, or the DLC anniversary will release next Monday. Not sure. Would mean we would need to hear something today, so on Monday when I record this. But as a creator who also has a bit of a sneak peek into what's coming up in Frontier, I can say so far no words has come out from them. They have not spoken about anything regarding DLC or any information about that. So I'm still a little bit hesitant. I don't know what to think about that, and I still have no clue, as so all the other creators do, at least as I know of. But yeah, let's not talk about the thing that isn't here yet. Let's talk about the build. And you see me using that the barriers of this exhibit are pretty low, and usually you would have wall high glass pieces separating these enclosures because of climate control and security and stuff like that. But in some cases, and I saw in real life, you also have these more open topped, and the whole room would be climate controlled, of course. For Reptile, of course, you mostly need I think you mostly need only the heat lamps and stuff like that, so they can heat up, because they can't heat up their own body system, and the more temperature thing is of course needed, but not in a high degree like you have with penguins and stuff like that. You don't need to fully climate control the whole room. They will survive even in colder climates for a bit, but if you have the room at an adequate temperature level, they would be doing fine, at least as long as you provide the heat lamps, stuff like that, and additional ways of heating and cooling of themselves. So that's why we're having this more open area over here, where we would heat the entire room. Of course, we're coming in from the slough room, so the whole building is already kind of heated, basically. And so that means we can easily control the temperature in here. And we're also building some more steps in the water, so that the little caimans can get out more easily. And I have to say, even after 4 years, they still look amazing. I know they are super tiny, but I love them for having some smaller animal species, but they look amazing. I love the cuviers caiman with his awesome face markings. Of course, the spectacled caiman also look amazing. Frontier always knows how to do the reptiles. At least they started to with Jurassic World Evolution, and then also later Planet Zoo. The first Planet Zoo animals like the water crocodile and the gavial, or gharial, I think in English it's called, in Germany it's gavial. They look a bit less polished, but still good. But the later editions like the Asian water monitor, the alligator, and both caimans look definitely really nice. And yeah, some more decoration now starting here with this broken tree stump. I wanted to kind of give the feeling of a river bank, basically, with lots of fallen trees. We will use the mod walls again that I created, that you can find on the workshop, by the way, if you want to have them in your own zoo. And lots of foliage. In the past I was never I was never really good at making exhibits or indoor. I was never really happy with how I did my indoor exhibits for reptiles. You saw me doing one for the Asian water monitor and for the spectacle caiman in my old wetlands area, and I wasn't really happy. They always looked too industrial, too blank, and not tropical enough. But this time I'm really happy. And you see it in the end time. In the end result, in the real-time part, you see, and I'm really happy. I could be more. I could do more. I saw some other people doing incredible indoor areas for reptiles, like Caesar Creates, of course, the master himself. So there is still some learning to do, and I think what I can give you with this, or what I can tell you with this, is never give up. Even if your first tries are not as perfect. Always try more, always try again, always try some different things. For example, I'm using the rock wall technique that I used also for the armadillo enclosure, with these rock walls basically stacked on top of each other. My god, I can't speak anymore. So that is definitely something new I tried here, and with this waterfall feature over here, and then you having these moss rocks in between where the water would spill out, and where moss would form due to the humidity and the climate and stuff like that. And then having some mulch in the background, so we would have anchoring points for the plants to grow in, because apart from moss can grow on rocks, most plants still need some earth or stuff like that to grow in. And also using the faux rock clutter pieces, I think they called, or something like that, for the first time in a long while. I haven't used them in some years, but they definitely suited this more fake-ish rock area, because of course it's all man-made. There are no natural, or at least not many natural rocks in here, because it's a fully man-made structure. So definitely using some pieces that I haven't used before, and definitely trying to be more cluttered, to be throwing in more pieces than needed. And in the end, the animals can still move. They can't move perfect, because crocodilians and all other reptiles, apart from the tortoises, implants, do have a problem, because the hitbox, as I preach many times, works in that the whole animal needs to turn at any point 360 degrees. What do you get when you have an animal that is where half of its body length is a tail? This turning radius is gigantic, especially for the bigger crocodilians like saltwater. And for the males, this turning radius is gigantic, because they are not high. They are not high animals, they are long animals. And this means they have a gigantic turning radius, which means their hitbox is gigantic. Which then means they, even in this habitat, which would be way too big for them, they can't really move that well. But hey, working with what I have and doing with what I can. But I'm also using some of the plants from the previous episode. These fake plants, self-made plants that I think look really cool. I guess I could throw in some more of them, because now I'm seeing the footage here, it still looks a bit empty, and I know already how the finished one looks, but I think I will throw in, if I don't forget that, to throw in some more of these. And also throwing in some bromeliads, because Mr. Gecko, the one who built the amazing section of Wahad Jamila for me, he said after last episode, because he is keeping reptiles, stuff like that, as a hobby, so he knows his stuff, and he told me that bromeliads are the go-to plant for South American areas, in zoos and private collections, stuff like that. So definitely throwing more bromeliads in here than I ever need, to make him happy, and to make sure that this counts as a South American habitat. But also throwing in some other plants, for example the pitcher plant leaves, which are the pitcher, of course, because they look a little bit like an orchid species who are common in South America. and some other plants from just the tropical section, because it's a zoo. I mean, it's a mid-sized zoo at best, maybe, and this means, yeah, they wouldn't definitely look every plant up that they have in here if it's from South America, from the right region or area where these animals come from. They want to create a tropical look, basically, and this means they want to create a tropical look for the visitors, of course. And that means they also throw in some other tropical plants if they are available, if they can thrive in this environment, if they are good for the animal and will not be destroyed by them, stuff like that. So they will throw in some odd pigs, basically, if it carries over this tropical feeling. So there's definitely some wiggle room for them to use here. And wiggle room I also need for using some enrichment items, hiding some enrichment items for these animals, because not much space. And hitboxes of enrichment items are also sometimes atrocious, especially when it comes to being close to the habitat border. But yeah, as I said, no more throwing stuff here. Isn't really from South America with the ivy, but it would grow, it would cover the walls really good. And now we are finished with the interior room, and you maybe see that there already is a roof on this building. Already saw it briefly. That is because I lost some footage here, not because something got deleted, because I forgot to press the record button, or I thought I pressed the record button. Then I recorded, I think, around 20 minutes or so of stuff. You see the roof again, and also the doors. And then I just was looking up to check if everything was working, and I saw that I didn't record anything. But being on a bit of a time schedule here, I didn't have the time or the motivation, sadly, to delete it all over again and start new, because I wanted to get finished, because I had other stuff to do. But yeah, it's just the roof. It's nothing unusual from the roofs I usually build with the gravel pieces on top, and the doors are also similar to doors I have built in the past with the indoor glass doors that we got, I think, with Barnyard. Not sure, I think it was Barnyard or Eurasia update. We got these glass doors, so nothing unusual there. And then we also finally fence off the keeper area of South America with this fence. I definitely could have used in-game fence pieces to save some pieces, but hey, they look cool, and yeah. But yeah, final parts now here with this exit path from the building that we have here with some foliage, and we will build some more pieces of the old industry building that the sloth building now is, with these archway. I have no idea. I was inspired a little bit by a South American building, or like an indoor South American building from one North American zoo. Can't recall the name anymore, but they also had these, I think this was for the entrances, more temple-esque structure, archway before you enter the building. And I wanted to include something similar into here, but having it in theme with the industrial building next to it. So it's just a weird piece that you sometimes see in zoos. You sometimes don't know what's the exact purpose of something is in a zoo. You just rove it. But yeah, I will leave you now with the rest of the speed build with some music, and we do also planting. We do some sitting area for the guests, and then add some flags, some Mexican Dios de la Muerte flags. I don't know what the exact name for them is, to the building itself, to make it even more feel South American, Mexican, Central American, stuff like that. As I said, leave you to the music, to the rest of the speed build, and then I see you at the end in the real-time part. Alright, and here we are in the real-time part, looking at everything we did in the last episode and this one, and we start here at our now fully finished plaza, or at least fully finished for now plaza. There's still some stuff to do here and there, but as it is right now, I think I can be happy with it, and of course this borders next to the capybara and Galapagos giant tortoise habitat that we did so many months ago. But yeah, it finally now has a proper end. The whole area now has finally a proper end, which makes me very happy. And yeah, this is our little casita, or little house, or little South American inspired building here. And I actually looked these up. I know in the speed build commentary I called them Dia de los Muertos flags or something like that, and I actually looked them up what they're called. They're called papel picado, and are a tradition, a very much a folk tradition in Mexico, made for all sorts of festivals and decorational purpose, stuff like that. And yeah, these are meant to represent these. The real version of this building also has them hanging outside. Really cool. Hello. Let's go inside. Don't waste any time. And as I said, I already changed a few things, a few small things here and there. Added some more plants, added these carpets. Again, thanks to Sparrow for giving me these ideas. I'm not fully happy with it still. Probably will make some adjustments and changes when I get some inspiration to do that. But yeah, as it stands right now, this is our little information section, or little education area where you can learn about the Pantanal. You can learn about some traditional art with these tapestries, carpets. We have some information about the animals and also about the country itself, and we have a golden llama statue over here, maybe a relic from South America itself, gifted to the museum to display it. But I think they can still be done a little bit more here and there. Maybe some more information, maybe some more artifacts. I will see what I can do. Let's go on and don't waste any time into the sloth exhibit. There we are. I think we have 4 sloths in here. I don't know if that's too much. There we see one going overhead over us. Yay, it actually move. Very slowly. But yeah, this is our little industrial hall, our little sloth industrial building hall. And I really like how it fits these two things of being a former industrial complex, fabrication complex, and now being a sloth exhibit together, a very tropical sloth exhibit. I'm sure that could be done more with more plants, stuff like that. Again, like the museum, I will add things once, when I get the inspiration for it. But as of now, I really, really like it. Also with the giant glass roof that gives everything so much light and makes it so much brighter. But we also have some dark spots here and there if the animals want to retreat. And we have our backstage area. There's nothing in there. You can see the roof. There's really nothing in there to make the illusion that there would be a backstage. And we also have these smaller, I don't even talked about it in the last video. We have these smaller openings over here. This is meant for birds or something like that. As for example, we could have some free flying birds in here or other things, maybe some reptiles, stuff like that, that accompany the sloths. And let's move on. Also change the info screens, or the information panels over here. All of them are, of course, done with lines, incredible information panels that he made, info signs that he made. Same for this room, which contains our reptiles. And before we get to the main attraction, we take a look, of course, at the 2 exhibits. This one for the green iguana, here he is. And somewhere here is the other one. Last time I saw him up there, but probably changed location. Is he that there? No, this is the Leaf. This is Leaf, the YouTuber. Can't see me now. I don't know where he is. Maybe you spotted him. I didn't. But yeah. Moving on, we have the yellow anaconda, which I hopefully can find. There is one. Are they both there? This is one. I'm really bad at this. Okay, yeah. These exhibits really serve their purpose. I can't seem to find any animal, but anyway, of course, the main attraction in this building is there he goes, the habitat for the cuviers dwarf caiman, and we have a little bit of light coming in here. Maybe I can change that a little bit to make it a little bit darker, so that it is. We have our exhibit for the cuviers dwarf caiman, and I'm really happy how it turned out. Of course, as I said, you can also put a spectacle caiman in here and it would still fit with the size, but going for having this animal being able to move instead of what would be realistic in this case, I'm still happy that it works out. We never built for these little guys, so definitely something checked on my checklist basically. And as I said, I was never really happy with my indoor exhibits, but I think with this one, I'm really happy. I like the lushness of everything. Hello, I don't know what your deal was there for a second. I really like the lushness of everything, and all the water features, stuff like that, and those 4 logs that basically divides the habitat into 2 parts. I think it also looks really cool, especially when the animals are sitting under it, like in this case, for example. Really cool. We can also have a little of underwater viewing here, but they can't dive, so there's really nothing to see over there. So let's moving on. We have our last station, some more information panels here using the in-game education screens basically to display some informations about habitat loss, deforestation, stuff like that, and also what we can do to change things, to make things better. And this brings us to the exit part with I don't know what I call this this archway, ruin archway. Still no idea what it is. Just thought it looks kind of cool, and that's why I went with it. But feel free to say what I could do better or change about this. But this already concludes our little tour of this area, and we land in front of the backstage building for the tortoise, and our way to the bayou section. As I said, there still needs to be work done over here with more plants and stuff like that, and all the paths. But anyway, apart from this South American section is basically complete. As I said, apart from small things here and there, we finally finished this section, which means we can now move on to the next one, or maybe even start a complete new section. There was autosave there, and I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you do as well, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, maybe consider giving a like or a comment to say what I could change, what I could do better, if you have some inspiration for me to use. And I hope I see you in the next video, and until then, I wish you a great time, stay safe, and goodbye everyone.